What is up, you amazing indie artists across the effing globe? Thank you so much for tuning in to Roadmap Street Signs Indie Artist Showcase with Sanja Danette. Say that 10 times fast. We have an amazing show, but first, I definitely, as always, have to give a shout out to Unapologetically Creative Network for airing my show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, and those are that. So I'm very grateful for that. I should record that, so I can just play it, and don't have to say it, right? But we have an awesome show for you today. We're going to be talking more about the different types of music licenses. There are 6 of them, and we've already discussed the sync license. We also discussed license. What the hell is license? License. We discussed the sync license, as well as the mechanical license and the master license. So what we do have left to discuss are public performance license, print rights license, and theatrical license. So we're going to look into all of those. Probably not this episode, but we definitely are going to culminate and look at each of those, and that will be I'll be done with that series. I guess it's the license series. We can call it that. Remember, if you have questions, comments, or topics you'd like to have discussed on the show, you can always contact me via email, sanjadanette@gmail.com. That's SUNJADANNETTE at gmail.com. So you can definitely send your music as well if you would like to be considered as a featured artist on the show, where we get to play your music as well as interview you to hear your story, because the world needs to hear your story and hear your music. There are guidelines and some specifications that I send to you once you send me your music. Yes. All right. So anyway, so we do have today, we're going to be interviewing a rapper who has coined his style as floetic justice, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, as well as some of his lyrics and a particular word that he uses in his lyrics. We're going to talk a little bit about that. There's a lot going on right now, you guys, in America. There's a lot going on. If you don't know, there was a whole nother incident where a policeman killed a black man. And, this show is definitely not, this is not what we talk about, but it's just something that has to be discussed. It has to be discussed in one way or another. It has to be mentioned. It has to be, because this is a battle that we've been fighting for so long, and it is still waging. It is still going on. And what I challenge you as artists to do in the face of hatred, in the face of adversity, in the face of fear, I challenge you to create. I challenge you to speak boldly from your heart. I challenge you to love with passion and with strong action. That is what I challenge you to do. Whatever that looks like for you, that is what I challenge you to do, to be everything that you were created to be, regardless of what you see happening around you. Now, let's jump right into this. We're talking about the performing rights license. Now, this is a a tricky um, thing here, the public performance license. We're also going to speak on that whole YouTube and Facebook thing when we, talk about this type of license. Now, a public performance license, and we are at easysonglicensing.com. I think that's where I got most of my definitions in the talks that we had over the past few episodes. Anywho, the public performance license is an agreement between a music user and the owner of a copyrighted composition or song that grants permission to play the song in public, online, or on the radio. This permission is also called public performance rights, and performing rights. Okay, so all of those mean the same thing. All the various terminologies are the same thing. Now, who's responsible to have this license? Okay, in most cases, public performance rights should be handled by the institutions, businesses, venues, radio stations, the host. You have Facebook, YouTube, whatever those platforms may be. They are actually responsible. Okay, um, whoever's presenting the music. Small indie artists, educators, and DJs often don't need to secure public performance rights for private events. Okay, that's muy importante. Okay. Also, most web and terrestrial radio stations handle their own public performance licensing. So, playing live public radio at your venue is usually fine. If you are unsure about your specific scenario, you should ask the venue or contact ASCAP, BMI, SASAC for details, okay, regarding that. And we'll actually look at ASCAP shortly. Um, Business owners in the United States should contact those, okay, BMI, SASAC, ASCAP, that handle all public performance licensing in the U.S., okay, to inquire about obtaining a public performance license. Expect to report your playlist to these agencies and share a small percentage of your revenues for royalties, which the agencies then distribute to the copyright holders. So yeah, it's pretty simple. Um, the numbers for contact for ASCAP is actually 1-800-952-7227. The number for BMI is 212-220-3000. That's 212-220-3000. And the number for SASAC is 615-320-0055. So those are your contact numbers. If you are a venue owner and you want to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row, if you are going to be hosting live entertainment or whatever you're going to be doing as far as entertainment is concerned, those are the numbers to which you can actually call and contact regarding performing rights. Okay. Yay. Now, and then of course, if you're outside of the United States, you contact your local performing rights society to obtain licensing for any type of web radio that will be broadcast in the United States. Even if the originated server is outside the United States, contact Sound Exchange, and that number is 202-640-5858. Of course, they have websites. You can just, Google it, or you can actually dial the number if you prefer to contact someone regarding this information. So, absolutely. Now, the public performance license in the United States pays a royalty to the copyright holder of the song. Okay, so this is typically the composer or the publisher. Sometimes rights are sold. Okay, so if they're sold, they might have a new owner other than the original composer or publisher, but all public performance royalties in the United States are collected by ASCAP, BMI, SASAC. All right. how much you pay for your public performance license is based on a number of variables, and it's determined by those agencies, respectfully. How much the composer or copyright holder gets paid is also determined by these agencies. Okay, so the entire pool of collected royalties is split among all the members, the member composers, in proportion to the number of plays they receive. Okay. Now, when should you have your license, your performance license, ready? Before you start playing copyrighted music in public. New business owners should anticipate this expense and incorporate public performance licensing into their plans before opening their doors. Existing businesses that wish to reconcile past transgressions or add public performance rights should contact the agencies via those numbers. Okay, absolutely. So many times, this is not something that's like strictly enforced a lot of times. However, there have been issues individually, I would say, definitely when we talk about YouTube and talk about Facebook. Now, Facebook recently got uh, their like performing rights stuff because there was an incident. It was Ed Sheeran, one of his songs where people would be singing them on Facebook, and those videos would be taken down because Facebook had not had the performing rights license for that particular song with Ed Sheeran, and so a lot of people's videos got taken down. No fault of their own, but Facebook just had to get that straight. Now, let's look. I'm actually typing here. I should have had it up, but the public performance via ASCAP. All right. Good thing I can edit that. Yeah. I. All right. So basically, if you go to ASCAP or BMI or any of those agencies, you're able to get a more thorough understanding of the public performing rights. Now, you as an indie artist is not something that you like, I would say seriously have to worry about unless because it will be taken care of, meaning your video might get, shut down. Your video might get shut down and then whoop, that's kind of it. If you want it back up, then you would have to contact the agency or see what that platform is doing to rectify the situation. Now, when you do YouTube videos, before you put any content on there, you agree to the terms. You agree to the terms and conditions of having a YouTube channel and, being a content creator. Now, because you have already agreed to those terms, they are at liberty to take a video down if it is going against or if it's in any way not lining up with those terms and conditions that you agreed to. Now, so that's easy. Facebook has terms and conditions as well, but as we have all noticed, those terms and conditions can be very fluid. Can be very fluid. And yeah, that's an understatement. But yeah, they can be very fluid, and that's one of those things that you have to kind of check on. They update their terms and conditions often. YouTube does not update as much, neither as often as Facebook. But when it comes to those platforms, just make sure that you're up to date on what they're doing, up to date on what their terms and conditions are, and just, do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Put yourself out there. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Absolutely. All right. So that's pretty much the performing rights license. Let's look at the print right license. Okay, and it's actually pretty simple as well. But a print license is an agreement between a music user and the owner of a copyrighted song that grants permission to rearrange, print, or display the music, notes, or lyrics of the song. Okay? This is also called print rights. Okay? So, very interesting. Whenever you rearrange, print, or display the sheet music, notes, or lyrics of a song that someone else wrote, even if it's just a small portion, you need a print license. For example, if you print the lyrics of a copyrighted song in the liner notes of your CD, you need a print license. If you display song lyrics on your website, you need a print license. When Coca-Cola prints song lyrics on their soda cans, even if they use only a portion of the song, they need a print license, okay, or they need print rights. It's required no matter how small a portion of the song you use. There are some exceptions where a print license is not required. You don't need a print license for songs that you wrote yourself or songs that are in the public domain. Okay, so there's a whole slew and a list of songs that are in the public domain. I remember I did cover a song that was in the public domain, so I didn't have to go, contact the copyright company or the composer or anything like that. I could just record the song because it was in public domain. Now, if you make photocopies of sheet music for your church, choir members, technically, technically, you do need a print license. Now, are we gonna say it? Are we gonna say it? Because I was raised in church. I was raised in church, and let me tell you now, some of the churches that I went to definitely had like all their copyright stuff. They had all that stuff lined up. They was on point. And then some of them was not. They just printed them off and just copied the CDs and but we ain't even gonna get into that right now. We ain't. We ain't gonna get into that. All right, now because we're talking about print rights. All right. Um, if you need to reprint lyrics or music in your own creation, derivative arrangement, or compilation, a print license is necessary. Okay. Okay. Now, how do you get a print license or print rights? They're custom negotiated directly with the copyright holder up front and can be quite complex. Um, you can actually go ahead and go to Easy Song Licensing for more information. You can contact them, or you can attempt to locate the copyright owners yourself and request permission. In a lot of cases, especially with gospel music, this is a very easy process, very easy thing to do. Is it can really just be like a phone call because they know that churches are using their material and they just give the go ahead and keep it rolling, and so note, print licensing can be challenging by law. Print right holders maintain total control of their work when it comes to print uses. This means that they can set any fee, take all the time they need, and reject the license outright. Many factors affect the response, including budget, use, and even the current workload of the copyright holders processing department. So it's important to, be ready for whatever that response might be. Royalties are paid to the copyright holder or the owner of the composition of song. Okay, and the composer or the publisher, they decide that. Sometimes rights are sold, and so either way, you just have to make sure that you contact the proper people regarding those print rights. Okay, because that can get a little tricky, but if we want to do right, you know, we want to get the rights. If you want to do right, get the rights. So before distribution, before you hand those prints out of the lyrics, you actually might want to get that print licensing. I'm just saying. Um, but they are hard to get sometimes, so something you should request well in advance. Absolutely, and have a backup plan. All right, but yeah. So once again, this is not something that's like strictly enforced. Like I said, I was raised in church, and so lyrics was everywhere, and I totally doubt if they were gotten and printed off with the print right. But anyway, at any rate, that's the information. Now you have it. Okay, now you have it if you're going to be using people's lyrics and such, etc. In a way that is um, that could actually be profitable. You might want to definitely cover yourself. All right. Now, so that was the print rights. We went over the performing rights, and there's really only one more left, and that one is theatrical rights, and we'll talk about that later. So what we're going to do is get right into the next segment, which is usually my favorite part, where we get to hear the story of a featured artist as well as their music. Today we have Young South. Young South. Now, lyrics are explicit, and so if you have kids listening, then you might want to cover their ears. But yes, lyrics are explicit. We're going to listen to one of his songs. This is the song that he actually sent to me via email, and I, really had to say, okay, is this message, you know, uplifting? Is it positive? Is it bashing at all? Is there any, fuck hoes, bitches, and all that? It's actually not. And so, so I was like, well, it does meet the requirements. Is not something that I might listen to, but the message is still there, and so I was able to listen, and that's what I do really love about this show. I don't. It's not genre specific. You get it? Genre specific. Anyway, yeah, it's not genre specific. If you're a musician or if you're a singer, you can submit your work, and you know he's doing his thing, Young South. Okay, and he's very talented. So I would say definitely check it out, take a listen, and yeah, let's listen to Feel Sometimes by Young South. That's Youngsouf. Here we go. Street Empire. South. A close mouth for those cars. You gotta tell them how you feel. Everybody's life don't have a caption. Most people be lost and have a problem with adaption. And if this happens to you when you feel the world is laughing, don't make it no distraction. Just build your own platform. And tell them how you feel sometimes. You gotta tell them how you feel sometimes. A closed mouth is a lost cause. Give attention can send you down a the dark street. On the hallucinogenics, being up cigar street. On the acidic porch where they be on the bar street. There's no memory block, your Floridian shark me. Feeling your pain make me wonder who all felt mine. See how I felt like dying, instead I kept grinding. You see, we all go through that shit, nigga, it's just time. Just guide yourself through your situation, don't step blind. If you got somebody to vent to, come find wise. Cause everyone I had to vent to, they blind eyes. Living in peace, looking upon the world full of vibes. And seeing how this motherfucker falling off alive. That's why I say you gotta push, I feel it going fine. To finish college and find someone to have a child with, get out the mindset of holding the way you feel. And even though they won't believe you, they know you can be
be real, yeah. Everybody's life don't have a caption. Most people be known to have a problem with adaptation. And if this happens to you when you feel the world is laughing, don't make it no distraction. Build your own platform and tell them how you feel sometimes. You gotta tell them how you feel sometimes. A closed mouth is a lost cause. I saw some people in long lines for a pair of Jordans. Then they say the ones who wasn't, they just couldn't afford. When life flipped their ass was in the streets trying to sell them. They came across me, I curved them, cause I be trying to tell them. You'd be surprised with the pressure they put on our kids. My chick come home and wanna do what this little nigga did. They spend different, ain't competing with no nigga shit. We think different, they spend it for likes, I'm buying crib. That's my advice to you, just give yourself a different flow. Quit worry about what people say and get that overflow. And when you get it, nigga, act like you done had before. Quit all that flogging and be the person your mama know. That's my advice to you, just give yourself a different glow. Quit worry about what people say and get that overflow. And when you get it, nigga, act like you done had before. Quit all that flogging and be the nigga your mama know. Everybody's life don't have a caption. Most people be known they have a problem with adaptation. And if this happens to you when you feel the world is laughing, don't make it no distraction. Build your own platform and tell them how you feel sometimes. You gotta tell them how you feel sometimes. A closed mouth is a lost cause.
Oh, yes, that was Young South Feels Sometimes. And I don't know about you, but I appreciate the message. I appreciate the message in the music, especially right now. Especially right now, you know, having a voice is important. Saying how you feel is important, especially right now with everything that's going on. It doesn't matter who you are right now. Expressing yourself is actually very important. You don't want to keep that stuff bottled inside, and you definitely, it's just a time to seek out a higher self knowledge and just be about your business. Wow. Love it. Absolutely love it. So let's go into the interview segment and let's hear from the man himself, Young South. Here we go, you guys.
All right, you guys, we're at my favorite portion of the show where we speak to the featured artists. We just heard a song from Young South. Young South. Okay, I don't want to mess it up. What is up, Young South?
What's going on? What's happening, Miss Sandra?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Just finished up writing me one of my tracks. I try to put something down every day if I can, whether it's mental or physically on paper.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. That's that passion. That's when that passion comes in, is when you grinding every day, when you like, I just got to do something. I feel you on that. Now, tell us about you, like who you are, where you're from, and how you got started in music.
I'm from Pensacola, Florida, man. A lot of people don't know about the city, but that's originally where Roy Jones is from. You know what I mean? So if you know anything about boxing, then you should be able to touch a little bit on that. But outside of that, man, I was raised down there, born and raised, single mother. My father left us when we were younger, but, that didn't stop anything. That really just made our boys do whatever we needed to do to make sure she was okay. So she went from having a husband who left to two strong providers. So, rest my brother's soul, man. He passed away about 5 years ago from cancer. But, other than that, man, that's where my music comes from. My music comes through my life experiences, everything I was going through coming up. How we really got started was, in high school during the comments when they gave us the 10 minutes before we had to be the class, we wouldn't hang around outside. We would go around the trash can and start putting them beats together. You know what I mean? So we utilized our 10 minutes just for freestyles. You know what I mean? So, yeah, from there, man, we knew we started drawing the crowd with just our little freestyle battles we would have just for 10 minutes. So after that, we started putting us some karaoke machines down, making cassette tapes. Yeah, like we got, to us, like to a lot of people, that wasn't no big thing. But when we made our little cassette tapes and we rode around with them in the car, that was real big for us. Like that was us. We were headed in the right direction. And then eventually we got to the CDs with the real studios, and it was on from there.
Oh, right, awesome. And so, do you work alone, or do you have a team? How do you usually work?
I have a lot of cats that I came up with as far as we rapped together and did a lot of songs together, and we actually put a team together called Family Ties. Like a lot of those guys don't really do music anymore, even though I wish they would. But one day I'm gonna put all us back together because I still think about that sometimes. It is good to have a team, but I've had a lot of successes as a solo artist, making my own moves. Depicting my own directions. Like that has yet to stir me wrong. So until I'm able to really put all of us together without, any miscommunications and things like that, I'm going to continue to do what I do best as far as to go with the solo thing until I'm in that position. I'm eventually start a label. Start a label. Once I do, I'm going to get everybody. They know that.
Oh, that's awesome. So your genre is hip hop. Is that pretty much it? How would you describe, your music, your message?
I mean, nowadays hip hop is not hip hop. I don't know if many agree, but that's just my opinion on it. So I wouldn't define what I like to do as hip hop. I've created my own genre, and I call it Floetic Justice. Like the movie Poetic Justice. This is Floetic Justice.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? The reason I call it that is because the music today is, the beats can misconstrue us so much and have us thinking we're listening to good music. You know what I mean? When all in all, it's really just the beat that everybody is liking. So I would honestly like for people to start doing these beats some justice. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a good beat, put some good lyrics and put some good flow to the beat that make it an actual good song. Don't make an artist want to take the beat from you and make their own song to it because they hated your lyrics. You know what I mean? Make a person want to hear the song throughout. So my genre is Floetic Justice.
Okay. Wow. And so you have a really strong message. So who would you say, what artists most influenced your music?
Wow. I mean, I'm an 80s baby, you know what I mean? So I don't get too much into anything that kind of touch the new millennium forward. I'm primarily 80s, 90s, so I come from the Goody Mob, you know what I mean? The Mobb Deeps, the Tupac, Biggies, the Jay-Z in the beginning, Nas, like, you know what I mean? Those guys influenced me, man, because not only were they able to really send a real message to this world, they were able to hold their own in whatever they stood for. And see, me, today's industry is full of a lot of puppets, you know what I mean? And I would rather keep that old school flavor that influenced and inspired me when I was younger to really hold my own and actually speak what's really on my mind and not what's written for me. I write my own music. So.
Okay, awesome. And so, let's dig a little deeper now, because I get a lot of artists that, are definitely into the music that they grew up on and the, messages that helped them and carried them. How do you marry the past with the present and or the future. Would you say that the millennials are even a part of your audience? And if not, why not?
I mean, I would be a fool to say they weren't, because you have to be able to touch today's generation. You know what I mean? Just from a moving forward standpoint, because a lot of the older crowds, we became a little complacent with the music. You know what I mean? We'll still go pull out our old CDs and our old cassettes and our old record players, and you know what I mean. And some just refuse to adapt. You know what I mean? But today's world, today's internet, with the cyber, with all the revenue that can be generated online just from streaming, most of the young crowd is the ones who is helping generate that revenue. So why wouldn't yeah, you know what I mean? They're crazy about their phones. So why wouldn't you as an artist try to put something in their phone that could possibly come across their face to generate some real revenue, which is supposed to be the real reason we all do this for in the first place. Like, it's okay to be passionate about it, but if we can feed the family in the process, why not?
Right, absolutely. So I listened to your song, and, I send out, my whole, requirements to, all the artists that I feature. And one of my disclaimers, I was like, no shoot 'em up, fuck hoes, bitches, and bashing. And I was like, okay, so I listened to it. I was like, this actually has a really great message. I was like, God dog it, but he keeps saying the N-word. So I was like, so that's something that I want to touch on a little bit, because now I have friends who use the word, in regular language, and then I have, friends who would never use the word, and so I adapt, to wherever I am, but I do want, your take and your perspective on your use of that word in your material.
Well, with my material, like I said, everything I do as far as going music-wise, it comes straight from the heart. You know what I mean? And once I bring what I have in my heart to what I already speak, to where I've come from, it all just coexists and it becomes a project. You know what I mean? So, like, for instance, if you were to see me anywhere in the professional corporate area, I hold myself in the way that I would need to carry myself in that type of situation. I don't bring the negative, I don't bring the misinterpreted to places that are not fit for them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an adapter. So with that being said, my music comes primarily from me and where I come from. And if you were from where I'm from or talk to a couple people from where I'm from, my conversations are totally different. Like, you probably sit in a room with 10 guys from the same city I've come from and probably wouldn't understand half the stuff we were saying. You know what I mean? You would hear key words. But you know what I mean? You just wouldn't understand it because it's all different. And I'm noticing as I travel more that it's different everywhere. So I fully understand where you're coming from. Like, where the way I was brought up, man, I was brought up in a school that was primarily Caucasian. You know what I mean? So and they adapted to me as if I was one of their own. And even after I speak those ways or say those things, it's like with the mutual respect just was always there. So it's primarily a language where we come from, but I'd be lying if I say it was something I did not want you know what I mean? Like, I'd be lying if I said it was something I wanted my children to be a part of. Like, I agree totally with what you're saying. They're going to hear things like that and things of that nature. But I'll explain the same thing to them. Like, Daddy was brought up different, and y'all don't have to be brought up that way. You know what I mean? So, like I say, in different environments, I hold myself accountable.
Okay, cool. So, and you mentioned earlier that you've had a lot of success in your journey, in your artistic journey. What is your goal, and what exactly does a successful young South? What's that picture for you? What's that vision for you?
Man, the vision for me, honestly, is everybody in my family straight and no worries. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a family guy. I'm a giver. I always end up with nothing on top of everybody else having everything because that's just how I always view things. You know what I mean? Like, I eat last. So if I were to be put in a position to where I would be able to do whatever I could do, that would be first thing. I would just bring all my family together. I'm a family guy, man. Family person.
And that's awesome because everyone has their own vision of what, success means to them. So what are you currently working on? And, also if you can give us the backstory to the song that we heard.
What I'm currently working on is I kind of put together my EP of an album I'm titled Sofa Scene, and it'll be out soon. But with the coronavirus epidemic going on, everybody decided they don't want to record, touch studios, and so everything's officially on shutdown. So bad timing as far as it go to put my music out, but Sofa Scene is going to contain everything that I've been going through since my brother passed, since my sister had a heart attack last year. It's just been a lot, and I have a lot to say, and I don't primarily talk to a lot of people. I rather talk to the microphone. So that's where Sofa Scene is coming. I'm trying to make sure it has over 20 tracks because I'm putting a double disc together.
Wow,
and,
okay.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I have a lot to say. And the backstory behind I feel sometimes is a lot of people, man, are on the internet, and they're looking at lives they can't have or people they can't have or things they can't have, you know what I mean? And it makes them sometimes get complacent with their current roles or current situations, the way they want to somewhat keep up with the Joneses. And I just don't feel like the things you see online on people's pages or how many followers they have should depict on your level of thinking or your pride as an individual. Most importantly, your security, because it's so easy to be insecure now just by looking at something you scroll by. And
absolutely,
I just feel like if you really want the attention, you really want to be somebody, you can be yourself and do exactly what they're doing. You know what I mean? You have to tell, if you feel a certain way, you don't have to hold that in. You know what I mean? You don't have to hold that in. Build a platform that, like they did, and tell it, tell the world how you feel. You know what I mean? So, it's so easy to jump in people's DMs and try to be secretive about everything, man. Listen, get out of the mindset of just being insecure because you can't say anything face-to-face. If you can't say anything face-to-face, then build your own platform and speak your own mind. That'll make you feel better sometimes than talking to any therapist. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, that's just my whole perspective of it, man. I just feel like, you keep it real, tell everybody how you feel, man. Quit holding those feelings inside. It's not a good feeling.
That's awesome, especially for men, because you guys are not taught to express your feelings and express your emotions besides anger, like you're not taught to fully express yourself. So, that's an awesome message. Absolutely. And where can we find your music?
Every platform possible. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Napster, Tidal, you name it, it's on there. You just type in Young South, YUNG, space SOUF, and I'm the first thing that pops up, automatic. You can even type it in Google, I'll pop up as a musical artist.
Awesome. And also, what are your handles where we can follow you?
Come again?
Your social media handles?
Oh, yes. Young South on Instagram is Young South _11.11_, and it's just Young South on Facebook. Them are the only two social websites I use because I'm really, to be honest with you, trying to get used to building up the fan bases and the followers. I'm a private, secretive type of person, so that's why I'm coming out of that box. And right now I'm almost to 5,000 followers on Instagram and a bit of 10K by next week. I'm working hard on this thing, so trust me, we're gonna put it where it needs to be.
Do it.
And oh yeah, and on YouTube, all you have to do is type in my name. I'm the only thing that pops up. I'm the first thing that pops up. You'll see everything you need.
All right now. Oh yeah, no, I'm saying that's awesome. And now, also the last question, and one of the most important questions I think for artists is, what advice would you give indie artists out there listening to you right now?
Oh man, I don't think you want this one. The advice I give, man, I'm telling you, listen, the advice I give is trust no one. Do your own research. Do your own research. Research everything that makes you weary. If you want to second guess it. Research and find out later. Take your time. Be patient. Don't jump on anything too fast. And don't sign nothing.
Wow. Okay, because no one is ever.
Oh yes, man. You wait till the right thing. You'll know when you have the right. Oh yeah, you'll know when you have the right representation. You know what I mean? But nowadays you gotta feel people out. You gotta feel the whole situation out before you put your name on the dotted line, because you can sell your life away so fast.
Absolutely. And you know what you freaking signing. I'm like, what? Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, you know.
That's a first. That is a first. And I hope that they take that advice, because it can
I'm
get
not telling them what to
ugly
do. All
real
I'm
quick.
asking is that they. Oh yeah, I'm not trying to tell them what to do. I just need them to do a little research. That's all I'm saying. Just research.
Yeah, definitely. You should always do your due diligence. It's because there's so much at stake a lot of times. So you definitely have to do your due diligence. I guess.
Oh yeah.
Well, Young South, that's YUNGSOUF. Young South, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you taking out of your time to come speak with us, share your music and your message and your story. It's awesome and amazing. Thank you so much.
No problem, Miss Sandra. No problem.
And what I tell all of the artists I interview is to be inspired, be empowered, be educated, and to please be entertained. I appreciate you so much, and we look forward to hearing more from you. I wish you much success in your journey, and we will see you soon, all right?
Oh, yeah, trust me.
And thank you guys so much for listening. This concludes the episode of Roadmap Street Signs Indie Artist Showcase with Sanja Dinette. Thank you, brought to you by Unapologetically Creative Network. We're available streaming live on Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and Apple Podcasts. I will see you guys soon. Until next time, peace.